I woke up to the sound of my cabin breathing differently, like the walls themselves were holding a secret. And before my eyes fully opened, I felt it, that unmistakable presence of another soul in a room meant only for one. The early desert light slipped through the cracked wooden window, painting the floor in warm gold. And that was when I saw her. She sat on the edge of my bed like she'd always belonged there, long black hair falling over her shoulders, eyes dark and calm as a night sky after a storm. She was Apache. There was no mistaking it, the strength in her posture, the quiet pride in the way she carried herself, the kind of beauty that didn't ask for permission to exist. My heart slammed against my ribs as I reached for the revolver beside me, but she raised one hand slowly, not afraid, not hurried. "It's only for one night," she said softly, her voice steady, almost gentle, like she was asking me not to break something fragile between us. I didn't understand how she got past my locked door, past the dogs, past my instincts, that had kept me alive through gunfights and winters that killed men stronger than me. I only knew one thing: she wasn't here to harm me. Her name, she told me, was Nia, and she had walked 3 nights through the desert to reach my cabin, because every other door had been closed to her. Outside, the world was changing. Soldiers were pushing deeper into Apache land, and her people were being hunted like shadows at dawn. She didn't ask for protection. She didn't beg. She simply said she needed to rest in a place where no one would find her before sunrise. As the fire crackled low, she spoke of her mother, who had died protecting children, of a brother taken in chains, of a promise she carried that was heavier than fear. I listened not as a cowboy or a gunman, but as a man who had buried too many regrets under the floorboards of his life. When the night stretched thin and silence filled the cabin, she lay down fully clothed on the far edge of the bed, turning her face toward the wall, trusting me without reason. I didn't sleep. I watched the ceiling and wondered how a stranger could step into my life so quietly and make it feel suddenly alive again. When dawn finally came, she stood, eyes brighter but sadder, and whispered, "By tomorrow you will forget me." But I already knew that was impossible. And right here, dear viewer, if this moment touched your heart even a little, subscribe to the channel, because this is only the beginning of a story that will stay with you long after the screen goes dark. Morning didn't bring peace, it brought choices, and some choices mark a man forever. Naya was gone when I woke again, but the room still carried her presence, like a song that lingers after the last note fades. Outside, I found her footprints leading toward the canyon, then stopping suddenly as if the earth itself had swallowed her. That was when the soldiers arrived. Dust rose on the horizon, rifles gleaming, questions sharp as knives. They were searching for an Apache woman. I told them I had seen no one, and for the first time in years, lying felt like telling the truth. That night she returned, wounded, blood dark against her sleeve, and I understood why she had come to me. She knew I was already a man the world had forgotten, a man with nothing left to lose. I hid her beneath the floorboards as soldiers tore through my cabin, boots pounding inches above her breath. When they left, she looked at me with tears she refused to let fall. It was only for one night, she reminded me, but her voice broke, and mine did too when I answered. Then stay until morning comes again. I tended her wounds, not with desire but with care, with hands that remembered how to protect instead of destroy. Over the days that followed, one night became many, and silence became understanding. She taught me her people's songs. I taught her how to track by the stars. When the soldiers returned in force, we made my stand, not as a hero, but as a man finally choosing what mattered. I led them away, riding hard into gunfire, giving her the time she needed to escape to her people. I was shot, left bleeding beneath a sky that felt endless. But as darkness closed in, I heard her voice carried on the wind, promising that some bonds are not measured in nights but in souls. I survived barely, and months later, when the desert bloomed after rain, I found an Apache bead tied to my door. Her promise kept. Love doesn't always stay, but it always changes us. And if this story made you feel something real, don't skip, subscribe now, because more powerful, emotional Western stories like this are waiting for you right here.